Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Daniel de la Vega from One Sotheby's International Realty in Florida. Daniel, great to see you.
Great to see you as well. Thank you for having me here.
I'm honored to be speaking with you. For those that haven't had a chance to meet you, or maybe have never waded into the South Florida luxury market, would love to just learn a little bit more about you and specifically your company.
Of course. So I am the president and co-founder of One Sotheby's International Realty. We operate along the entire east coast of Florida. We have 31 offices, over 1,400 advisors, and we have a very robust development division as well, where we sell ground up new buildings all throughout Florida's east coast.
Anyone who's been through any of those luxury markets on the east coast of Florida will definitely have seen the signs and be familiar with the company. But for those that are kind of tuning in from around the country, I think good for folks to know who you are. So
Hopefully, that's our goal.
you and your team have been working with Corded for 2 years, and we're lucky to
Yeah.
have signed a long-term renewal with you guys for I think the next 3 years. So we're super excited for the partnership that we've had, and obviously the opportunity to further support your team in the future. I'd love to first understand when your team was kind of first looking to partner with Corded in the first place. What were the types of problems that you were trying to solve, or what kind of growth plans or something else were you trying to execute by working with us?
Well, I think overall, we were looking for a smarter, basically a more strategic way to use data to drive agent growth. And that's not only from a recruitment standpoint, but it's also from a retention standpoint. And we really wanted insights that were actionable. And we just wanted, anybody can look at a dashboard, right? But when you're looking at an agent's performance, you really want to understand his history, where he's been, why he's been successful. And I think that's a big driver for us, asking why. And I think that that happens both from an M&A standpoint and from just an organic agent growth standpoint or a retention standpoint. So the software allows for us to kind of figure out a lot of the whys of the advisor so we can help them in their business, which is our ultimate goal.
Yeah, for sure. I think your team is very skilled at going beyond the kind of superficial celebration and getting into, a really kind of in-depth kind of like aha moment for the agent. He's like, oh my God, how did you know this about me? And it kind of starts, it's like the beginning of a really consultative approach that your team takes. And obviously they've
Yeah.
been very successful in growing the company. I guess, are there any specific metrics or like a moment that you might be able to share that can give some folks a sense of the success that you've had since we've been working together?
There's been a lot of moments. I mean, and I say this very, very humbly, but we've recruited $1 billion a year over the last 3 years. And our growth team is obsessed with Corded. It gives us visibility into the market like never before, right? I mean, it's helped us identify top talent. We can spot trends with that talent, and like you said, I mean, it's our real differentiator, being able to engage with advisors in meaningful ways. So for us, it just makes us sharper. It makes us more proactive. And again, I keep harping on this, but in really understanding what agents need to succeed in this
Mhm.
market, and that's a key part of our growth, and Corded helps us with that.
I mean, to anyone listening, those numbers are extremely impressive, particularly when you figure that 3 years ago, we were actually in a very different market than the one that we've been in for the last 2 years. And so your team's ability to kind of maintain and sustain that growth. And I will note, not that you shared this, I believe the team has actually contracted in size during that time. And so the team has actually gotten more efficient as you've gone through this process, which is really impressive, especially given what's happened in the market. So hats off
Yeah,
to you and your team for for
thank
for
you,
being able
thank
to do
you.
that. So I assume that at some point your team would have kind of looked at some other solutions, or maybe done some of this work without using technology, maybe just using the MLS themselves. Can you talk a little bit about what you considered or kind of other tools that you might have used, either specifically or just kind of generally, and maybe why you selected Quarter.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've used other tools. I really just would rather focus on Corded because that's where all of our focus is. And I would just tell you that other tools give you data, Corded gives you intelligence, right? And there's a huge difference between seeing raw numbers and having a strategic tool that actually moves the business forward, right? And we are constantly trying to move this business forward, and it's really a best-in-class tool that we've been able to leverage. But look, like every tool, you only get out what you put in. And I know that our team has put a lot of their efforts, especially on the growth side. Our managers are using it as well. We're actually using it right now. We're focused in Q3 and Q4. We're always focused on this, but especially Q3 and Q4 in a new retention strategy, and Corded is going to be front and center for that. So look, accuracy for us is extremely important at every level of our business, and especially when it comes to recruiting and retention.
Mhm. That's great. And so just finally, like last question, some folks listening to this have either never met us or have maybe met us and they're kind of considering whether to work with us. If you were to meet another peer of yours, right, president of a large company or CEO even of a small company that's thinking about maybe working with Corded, what kind of advice would you have to them?
I think that sometimes as CEOs, we can be reactive to things. And I think if you want to lead, right, proactively, Corded is the right tool for that, right? And it's not about replacing your instincts or your manager's instincts or even your growth team's instincts for that matter, right? It's about enhancing them with the right instincts at the right time. And that's really what Corded helps you with. And it's been a strong investment for us and a key part of how we're thinking about business in the future. And again, when we think about our business, at the core of that thinking are our advisors. So I really, genuinely could not do what we do without Corded.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Really appreciate it. And I really thank you for trusting us to support your business for another 3 years. Looking forward to having you on in a couple of years and seeing what that success looks like.
Looking forward to it as well. Thank you.